another sequence in this movie that absolutely blows my mind, wrecks my shit sideways. Namor's coming through to Wakanda, destroying, wreaking havoc, flooding Wakanda, destroying ships left and right. There's like 3 ships, don't know what happened to the rest. Kills the queen. Just like I said, wreaking havoc, just murdering people. Just it's savage. If he continues any longer, Wakanda's done. They're falling to their knees today. It's over. No more Wakanda. It's finished. It's done. They could even move in there. The Wakanda oceans, waters. They could. It's done. Namor floats feet wings up to the throne room. Looks at Shuri. Says, "You're the queen now." Basically, I killed the queen. Every destruction, murder, just savagery. And he's telling Shuri, "You're the queen now. But you guys take a week. I'm going to give you guys a whole week. I know I just killed your mother, but you guys can have a whole week. Riri Williams over there, you can go make a whole suit. You have time. You have a week. You can make a suit. Shuri, if you got time, you can make a heart-shaped herb. Get a new Panther suit for yourself. You have time. You could do that. You have a whole week. M'Baku, your army, everybody, you guys can move all your stuff over there. Everybody can get safe. You have a week to do it. Everybody can go over there. You call the Avengers. You have a whole week. Like, you give them I was like, bro, what the freak? We'll stop and give them a whole week out of nowhere for this. That shit blew me. I was like, what the freak? I was like, what is happening? Move the plot along. That's exactly what's happening. We need to move this plot along. He's destroying everything. Nobody could stop him. Just let him stop and give him a week. I was like, what the fuck am I watching? All right, back to the video. Back to the video. What's good, YouTube? Welcome to the channel. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. If the button is red, click it. Welcome to this video too as well. Shout out to Wakanda forever. Rest in peace, Chadwick. Rest in peace, T'Challa. Let's get into the spoiler review for Wakanda Forever. This movie, going into it, I wasn't expecting it to be as good as the first one, but I was expecting Ryan Coogler to, do his thing, put in that work, show the love and respect. And yeah, we'll get to that. This movie opens up as I think we all thought it would have. T'Challa dying, I guess, because we don't have Chadwick anymore, and people wanted to recast, and they said no. So I guess we would expect him to die in the movie. I guess her brother is dying of an unknown illness and didn't tell anybody towards the end, and that didn't sit right with me in the beginning, or at all. It never sat right with me. I don't like that choice that they killed T'Challa almost the exact same way that he passed in real life. He had a disease, didn't tell anybody really in real life, kept it close to the chest, just like the movie. Had an unknown illness, kept it close to the chest, didn't really tell anybody about it until he finally decided to ask his sister for help. I just thought that was really distasteful. I can't imagine being in Chadwick's family and just seeing that. I just can't imagine that. And maybe, depending who you are, maybe that could feel okay. I don't know. But that, for me, that was just I was like, whoa. That really shocked me. I was not ready for that. Didn't expect that either. Coming from a Disney franchise, Ryan Coogler, just wasn't expecting them to kill Black Panther the exact same way. Just imagine Paul Walker, if he died in Fast and Furious just in a random car crash, on the way to a grocery store. He just crashed and died. I think that would put a lot of people off of watching the movie. It just would have made people feel weird. I don't know. I didn't like that. And that's what happens. We start, Shuri's frantically trying to recreate the heart-shaped herb. Somebody comes in, tells Shuri he's asking for you, wants you to be there in the final moments, and she doesn't care. She's just trying to get this heart-shaped herb to work. She prints one that's not going to work. She's about to go give it to her. Ramonda comes in and says, he's gone. And then we cut straight to the funeral of T'Challa. And it's nice, you know, it's beautiful. I like the direction there. Well, I like the cinematography there. I like the shots they chose. You've seen it in the trailers, everybody's wearing all white. Sure, he has the Black Panther helmet, right? And it's very quick. It's just really quick. They almost got me to tear up when they start playing the Ancestral Plane theme score. But then it's over so quick. They do all this before the Marvel credits even roll. And I was wondering, how are they going to handle this situation? And it all gets done before the Marvel credits roll. And that kind of blew my mind. I wasn't expecting, get comfortable. I wasn't expecting them to do it so quickly like that, to be honest. It was, not saying spend an hour and a half on it, or at least like 20 minutes, because that was really quick. I mean, they talk about it throughout the film. Some characters here and there will speak on a memory they had with T'Challa, but like, it's the biggest thing that you notice is just that T'Challa's gone. Like, he's not there. Wakanda's having problems, and you as the viewer you can feel that he's not there to help all these situations. Besides that, they kind of sweep that the funeral, all that real quick. They get it out the way real quick. So I don't know how you feel about that, but for me, that threw me off my balance for the rest of the movie. But after that, we get the Marvel logo. It's all T'Challa. And it kind of made me realize how much we really did have of him, because I know people complain we only had one movie of him, but he had a lot throughout Civil War, Black Panther, Infinity War, Endgame, What If. He had a lot that he did, and he made his mark. He did a lot within that time. So shout out to Chadwick. I think after the credits, we go to Queen Ramonda talking to all the nations, and it's here in the trailer. We hear what you whisper. Talking her shit, you know, being a G, basically letting everybody know we're not giving you vibranium. This is ours. We protect it, and they all want that vibranium bad. They need, and she's telling them, you can't have it. Just because we don't have a Black Panther doesn't mean we're not ready to defend our nation ourselves. Wakanda. I guess all the nations wanna freaking come for Wakanda, come for the vibranium. That's what they're alluding to. I don't know if they did that just to set up this villain, to be honest. But I think they just did that. They made all these nations just savage, I guess. Just savage. They just want to come for Wakanda, just attack them. Come get that vibranium. That's savage. But I guess just to set up that villain aspect, we'll talk about Namor. And then the scene leading after that is something I did like. I liked seeing Okoye and Ramonda on the ship flying back to Wakanda. My queen, we are home. I like that. It's a nice little callback to the first one with T'Challa and Okoye. I like it. And then Shuri is just focused on her weapons, on her technology. She still can't get over T'Challa's death. Understandable. It is a year later since his death. I get it. Sometimes it could be hard. And her mom basically wants to try to help her mourn, so she takes her to a place where, I don't know if everybody kind of does it there, but that's where she took her to try to come mourn and burn the clothes that they wore when they were at the funeral. And that's right when Namor pulls up. He just comes right out that water and lets his presence be known. He tells them that there's a scientist that built a machine that the government got that can find vibranium. And he's telling them how we have vibranium and blah, blah. And this is what blows my mind. Avengers Age of Ultron, Claw barely escaped with his life. I don't remember what happened there. It's been a while since I've seen. But, you know, Claw got fucked up. He took vibranium, got caught up. He's a most wanted freaking Wakandan, most wanted. Other people, when somebody gets a hold of vibranium, even in Black Panther, Claw and Killmonger go to steal vibranium. Wakanda knows about it. When you even think about vibranium, if you even think about vibranium, Wakanda is on your ass. Before you even get the chance to think about vibranium, Wakanda is on your ass. Are you telling me there's this whole civilization, this whole underwater city, tons and tons of vibranium, and they never knew? That's crazy. This movie likes to go back on the lore that they've already established. Like the ancestral plane. Apparently you could just call out to to people while you're already in that. Like, this is spoilers. Queen Ramonda, she dies in this movie, and she starts speaking to Shuri while Shuri's in battle from the ancestral plane. It's not a memory. It's not a Shuri just imagining what her mom would say. It's her from the ancestral. They even show her the purple background, all that. She's there. It's crazy. And I'm just like, wow. And she's, show him who you are. It just blew my mind. I was like, all right, I guess we can just do that now. We can just converse back and forth without taking the heart-shaped herb and all that. And Killmonger's in this movie. See, I skipped way to the end, but thinking about ancestral plane. So now I'm just talking about Killmonger. Killmonger's in this movie when Shuri does eventually recreate. There's too much in this movie, bro, to talk about. Because now I'm talking about this. When she was able to recreate the heart-shaped herb synthetically from a 3D printer, she doesn't see her mom when she takes the herb. She doesn't see her dad, T'Chaka. She doesn't see her grandparents, whoever, past kings. She doesn't see her brother, T'Challa. She sees Killmonger. And apparently she chose to see Killmonger, and they don't really give a reason why. They actually say, we call to you, Queen Ramonda, to guide Shuri through the ancestral plane or whatever. And it just didn't happen. I feel like she should have saw her dad. At least. Or even her mom. Or the mom. And at the end of the movie, when she has to do her combat, or somebody, when the initiation to be King and Black Panther, they strip you of the powers of the Black Panther, and then you do combat, or everybody yields and says, no, we're good with you. And then she'll have to drink it again. And then I thought the second time she would have drank it, she could have saw her brother. They didn't have to talk. She could have drank it. It could have been a shot of her over here, the back of somebody's head, or just the shoulder, and she would have went, brother. Or, no, that's what I would have wanted. But they don't do that. She doesn't even show up to the ceremony. And Baku does. And he says he wants to challenge for the throne. Don't know what that means. I don't know, because he was dressed up in the gear and ready to go. She didn't show up. She went somewhere else. So is he king and she's Black Panther, like T'Challa was Black Panther and T'Chaka was king? Or couldn't tell you, because they don't tell us. And Baku was cool in this movie. He was cool. He didn't have a lot of scenes, but I'd say half of his scenes were comedic and the other half were him being serious and fighting. Half and half. Shuri, to me, in this movie, I don't know, bro. I don't really like any characters too much. I don't even think I have a favorite character. Maybe Okoye. She gave me a lot of emotion, and she was going to work with that combat. Nakia, she was going to work with that combat. She gets sent on a mission to retrieve Riri Williams, and Shuri, she makes light work. Like, she does that like a professional. She was on her Lois Lane, MacGyver, freaking Liam Neeson in any movie he's in. Fucking hunt you down. I'm gonna get you with ease. She went to work and made that happen like professional. She was tight. Like, he was tight. But yeah, Shuri, she didn't, I don't know, bro. She was just almost one tone the whole movie. And then there's like a scene here and there where she kind of breaks the mold of the way she was acting throughout the whole movie. But she was pretty much the same kind of tone throughout the whole movie. Angela Bassett, great. Just can't believe they killed you. Made no sense. Was unnecessary. Didn't like that. I can't even believe it, actually, that Shuri's basically the last of all of them. That's blew my mind. And it made no sense. Ramonda was saving Riri Williams from drowning. Riri's like already drowning, like she's down here. Ramonda comes and gets her, so she should have more air. Like, Ramonda should have been fine. If anybody should have drowned, it would have been Riri Williams, but she got a show coming on Disney Plus, so we can't do that. And Riri Williams, I didn't like her introduction. I didn't care for it. Wouldn't say I didn't like it, but I didn't care for it. It was the same kind of Tony Stark goes and gets Peter Parker. She had one room. It was all in one room in her apartment or dorm or wherever she was. Just like getting Peter Parker was basically all in his room. Comedic stuff there. But she's the scientist, though. She's the scientist that created the machine that can find vibranium that the government got from her teacher. And Namor wants her dead. Namor wants to kill the scientist to make a statement, because Wakanda, Ramonda and Shuri were saying, we can just bring Riri Williams to Wakanda. She'll never leave. We'll keep her here. And he's like, no, she must die. I just had to pop in here right quick. There's another sequence in this movie that absolutely blows my mind, wrecks my shit sideways completely. Namor's coming through to Wakanda, destroying, wreaking havoc, flooding Wakanda, destroying ships left and right. There's like 3 ships, don't know what happened to the rest. Kills the queen. Just like I said, wreaking havoc, just murdering people. It's savage. If he continues any longer, Wakanda's done. They're falling to their knees today. It's over. No more Wakanda. It's finished. It's done. They could even move in there. The Wakanda oceans, waters. They could. It's done. Namor floats feet wings up to the throne room. Looks at Shuri. Says, "You're the queen now." Basically, I killed the queen. Every destruction, murder, just savagery. And he's telling Shuri, "You're the queen now. But you guys take a week. I'm going to give you guys a whole week. I know I just killed your mother, but you guys can have a whole week. Riri Williams over there, you can go make a whole suit. You have time. You have a week. You can make a suit. Shuri, if you got time, you can make a heart-shaped herb. Get a new Panther suit for yourself. You have time. You could do that. You have a whole week. M'Baku, your army, everybody, you guys can move all your stuff over there. Everybody can get safe. You have a week to do it. Everybody can go over there. You can call the Avengers. You have a whole week. Like, you give them I was like, bro, what the freak? We'll stop and give them a whole week out of nowhere for this. That shit blew me. I was like, what the freak? I was like, what is happening? Move the plot along. That's exactly what's happening. We need to move this plot along. He's destroying everything. Nobody could stop him. Just let him stop and give him a week. I was like, what the fuck am I watching? All right, back to the video. This movie's almost 3 hours long. I'm all over the place. But when Shuri and Okoye retrieve Riri Williams, they have this big battle, this fire battle. I think the best action scene in the movie, on this bridge, or through the city, ending on this bridge. Namor's, I think, greatest soldiers are fighting this big buff dude, and Okoye is just putting in that work like a straight G. Shout out to Okoye. She went hard. But eventually Riri Williams and Shuri get captured. Shuri offers herself to go talk to Namor. And Namor is showing her his city, his underwater city, and trying to show her why the scientist needs to die, basically. And he's like, look at all my people, I need to protect them, type of shit. And I'm like, this city does not look good at all. This city, bro, Namor's city, underwater place, it was dark. It just looked trash. I'm not gonna lie, bro. It just looked trash. It looked trash. It was dark. It looked cold. It looked dirty. I know it's underwater, but it didn't have that amazing, like when you saw Atlantis and Aquaman, it was colorful, bright, beautiful. It looked like you would want to live. Give me some gills. I'll change my life and live there. I wouldn't want to live in wherever the fuck they was at. Oh, freak that. I'm good. And he had this, I brought the sun to them. Like, what? I don't even know what that was. It looked like an actual sun. It looked like what Dr. Octopus made in Spider-Man 2. It looked like that actual, like an actual artificial sun. I don't even know what that meant. He brought it down there. They created it. That their vibranium somehow made it. I don't even. And the way Namor's people even became underwater breathers and enhanced people was because they were led to a heart-shaped herb. Apparently when the meteors hit, it hit like where Wakanda was and it in the ocean. And I can actually understand, because when meteors come in, it's not just like, unless it's one singular meteor, sure. But they don't come and hit the same, it can go anywhere. So I bought that, but it was still like they take the heart-shaped herb, and for some reason for them, they started not being able to breathe. And then they went straight into the water. I don't know how they knew to go there, or how they even knew what to do or how it works, but they drank it and they found out they just had to live underwater now. They had to make a new home for themselves. And I think they drank and used all of the heart-shaped herb. So I don't think there's any more of that. Maybe, I don't know. I think they all had some. And then Namor, his mom had some while she was pregnant with him. So that's why he was different from all of them, because they all turned blue and they all had to go underwater to breathe, except for him because he's a mutant. Now, I don't know if that's a mutant because he doesn't know what else to call it, or if they're just, the MCU is calling anybody a mutant that's enhanced, because Kamala Khan is a mutant and now Namor is a mutant, and I don't think either of them is because of like the mutant gene. It looks like Namor is just a mutant because his mom had the heart-shaped herb when she was pregnant. Other than that, I don't know why he's a mutant. Whew, there's a lot. This movie's long. It didn't even need to be this long for what we got. This movie was long. Lots of dialogue, couple of action scenes. They did this a lot. The Namor and his people. I think that's because it's the shark head. They kind of did it a lot. I think they wanted something like how Black Panther has the Wakanda like this. I think they just wanted their own thing, so they did that. I don't have a problem with this, is bringing that up. And when Riri Williams and Shuri got captured, Queen Ramonda stripped away Okoye's Dora Milaje status and just made her a regular common folk in Wakanda. That pissed me off. And her biggest reasoning was because of Killmonger. When Killmonger came, you stood by his side. I understand, but damn, she must have been salty for all these years. Just straight salt. And she couldn't wait for a reason to get... She could not wait for a reason to knock her down a couple of pegs. Apparently. Because losing Shuri pushed her over the edge, but then her real kicker was that Killmonger thing, I guess. She was really pissed about that. But that was a night. Okoye goes hard. People in the background was like, but she even held the sword against her own love for Wakanda without hesitation. Yeah, that was kind of messed up. They did my girl. The way Shuri was able to complete the heart-shaped herb was from some bracelet that Namor's mom gave to him, and he just gave it to her for absolutely no reason. I couldn't tell you. He just gave it to her as a parting gift. That's all she needed, was this bracelet that was near their heart-shaped herb or something, the soil, and that's all it took was the bracelet. That's all. The missing link was that bracelet. This review's already like 20 minutes long of me just being all over the place. The big battle at the end of the movie, apparently Wakanda thought it was a bright idea to take the battle to the ocean. They took the battle to the ocean where they're at their strongest, but they wanted to isolate Namor and take him to the desert. Weird strategy. Honestly, they just didn't want to have more damage to Wakanda. I guess I can understand that, but just a weird choice. Weird choice to take the battle to. And speaking of making suits, Riri Williams had her own Iron Man suit at her house. It was decent. I understand she was using technology from dumpsters and whatever, custom parts, all that type of stuff. She goes to Wakanda. She makes an even bulkier suit, kind of an ugly suit. Her suit had cornrows. I guess that was just her choice, aesthetics wise. I can't. That's what she likes. So shout out to her. But then Shuri has made her own Iron Man nanotech suits for some of the Dora Milaje, and I'm just like, Shuri, you know she making a suit, right? Why don't you just give her one of these OP vibranium dope fucking nanotech? Why don't you just give her one of these? I was like, what? That was kind of weird, but I guess just to show us Riri can make a suit. That was weird. With all the tech they got, that's the suit she came with. It's kind of weird. And yeah, I feel like for Shuri, they gave her T'Challa's story arcs all in this movie. They gave her the vengeance has consumed all of them, but I'm done letting it consume me. They gave her that whole thing from Civil War. They gave her the entire Black Panther arc and just storyline to her in this movie. It just seems like they're trying to catch Shuri up straight. Everything we've seen T'Challa do, all of his character arcs, motivations, and where he ends up. They tried to just jam all of that into this movie, get her right to where he was when we left off, so they can continue her Black Panther on the way they might have done with him. I don't know. I can't imagine, like, they didn't even show, like, I don't know what Avengers are left, I get technically, but they didn't show the Hulk or Doctor Strange or Pepper, anybody. They didn't show Happy. They didn't show anybody back home reacting to the loss of T'Challa. Like, I would have liked to have seen something like that in the movie. Hey, man, there's a lot I didn't touch on, which is crazy because this is a long video. There's a lot I didn't touch on with Everett Ross, his ex-wife. I'll touch on this, though. T'Challa and Nakia had a baby, which blew my mind. I saw it coming the second they set that shot up. Shuri's just sitting there, and you just see Nakia with the little kid. I was like, oh my god, that's... Don't tell me they had a magical baby that we didn't know about. But they never actually did, but we didn't know about it because they just wanted to put it in this movie. I was like, please don't tell me. And then shout out to you recast T'Challa people. This is where their trump card is. This is where they think they're getting you, the recast T'Challa. This is where Marvel thinks they're one-upping you. They're like, oh, you wanted to recast him, but look at this. This little kid's name is T'Challa. Are you good at keeping secrets? Like to Shuri. And she's like, that's not my real name. My real name is T'Challa. And I think he says from former King T'Challa or something like that. And I'm just like, oh my God. That's not what recasting T'Challa meant to people. That the people wanted you to recast T'Challa so they could see T'Challa's story continue. Black Panther T'Challa continue. But instead they're giving you somebody that's not actually T'Challa, but his name is just T'Challa. I think that's going to be enough for the recast T'Challa people. And now I'm one of you guys. Now I'm one of you guys. Before I was on the fence, I was like, if they do it right, I could see this being amazing. But they didn't do this right. And yeah, the third act, mess. You did it again. You did it again, bro. The score is the best part of this movie, damn near. The score was almost too good for the movie. And shout out to this right here. This was fire to me. This was fire. This score right here. That with Okoye and the Dora Milaje just going in fighting. That was fire. Got me hyped. This movie just forgets how the ancestral plane works. This movie forgets the lore of Wakanda. This movie forgets the way certain characters act. This movie forgets how vibranium is treated, bossed, ancestral plane, everything. This movie just forgets everything. This movie forgets everything Black Panther, Civil War has set up. It just throws it out the window, forgets, or they just don't care. I don't know what it is. But my grade for this movie is a C, solid C, no C plus, no C minus, just a C, which is a passing grade. Before y'all get on my head thinking that I'm failing this movie, C is a passing grade. Give it a C. See it in theaters if you want to. It's still worth it. Just as a Marvel movie, it's still a decent time in the theaters. It's long, so be prepared for that. And yeah, that's it really. There's a lot more that can be said, but I think I said a lot throughout this review. I call it a review. I was really just talking. And yeah, give the movie a C. Disappointed in general with this movie. I really tried to like it more than I did. I kept trying, but lots of things they kept doing in this movie kept making me go, what? But why would? But how would? But didn't they know that? Just throughout the whole movie. Shout out to you guys though, if you even got this far in the review. I'm just the guy with the camera and a mic, and I'm out.